Hello, this is Reverend Angelia with today's Bible reading. Today's reading comes from 1 Peter 2, Submission to Rulers and Masters. Now, thankfully, we don't have masters anymore. I don't believe we ever should have. But this can also go for, government officials, rulers, and your boss. So, submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every authority instituted among men, whether to the king as the supreme authority, or to governors who are sent by him to punish those who do wrong and to commend those who do right. Now that is ideally. For it is God's will that by doing good you should silence the ignorant talk of foolish men. I wish that were happening today. Live as free men and women, but do not use your freedom as a cover-up for evil, because God knows. Live as servants of God. Show proper respect to everyone. Show proper respect to everyone. I had to say that twice. That is important. Love the brotherhood and sisterhood of believers. Fear God. Honor the king. Slaves. And again, we have no real slaves. There unfortunately is still slavery in the world today. And we should pray for those poor people. But we can say employees or workers. Submit yourselves to your masters or your employer with all respect, because they are the person paying your wage. They're signing your paycheck. Not only to those who are good and considerate, but also to those who are harsh. And believe me, I've bit my tongue many a day working for other people. For it is commendable if a man bears up under the pain of unjust suffering, because he is conscious of God. But how is it to your credit if you receive a beating for doing wrong and endure it? But if you suffer for doing good and you endure it, this is commendable before God. To this you were called, because Christ suffered for you, leaving you an example that you should follow in his steps. He committed no sin, and no deceit was found in his mouth. Remember, the Pharisees and Sadducees tested him on a regular basis. When they hurled their insults at him, he did not retaliate. When he suffered, he made no threats. Instead, he entrusted himself to him who judges justly, who is God. And that's a hard one for us, because sometimes people get on our last nerve and we're, ready to make them shine. But you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to put it in God's hands. That's the best thing you can do. He himself bore our sins in his body on the tree. Or, the cross. They're calling it the tree here. Oh, man. It's allergy day. So that we might die to sins and live for righteousness. By his wounds you have been healed. For you were like sheep going astray, but now you have returned to the shepherd and overseer of your souls. And that's who God is. He is our shepherd. Jesus is the good shepherd. He watches over us. He keeps us in line. If we follow him, We're not going to get in trouble. And that's all for now. Until next time.